Welcome back. Here we are at Dr. Pepper Really. We have Susie with us again, who is on her Ozempic journey, and she has told me that she's doing well. So, Susie, why don't you fill us in? How are things going?
I'd be glad to fill you in, Dr. Pepper. Nice to see you again. Things are going very well. When I last spoke with you, I had been on week 3 of taking the Ozempic, still at a subtherapeutic dose. In other words, taking it, but not enough to really have effects. At the suggestion of my doctor, I increased it to zero point 0.5 milligrams after week 4. And that's when things really started to happen. I am now 14 weeks into this, so time goes by quickly. And
Wow.
I'm still taking the zero point 0.5 milligrams. Right from the beginning, I really did not have a problem doing the injection. I mentioned last time the needle is super tiny. Even though I'm a nurse practitioner, I don't love injections, never liked giving them, never liked getting them. This is really nothing and takes about a second to do, very clear, very easy. It looks like a pen, and you dial up your dose and inject it. It takes literally a couple of seconds. So that
Right.
part's been great. What's really been good is I've been feeling very, very well. I know there are concerns about side effects with Ozempic, including GI things like nausea, diarrhea, constipation. And really, I've not experienced that. I did have one day when, out of the blue, I had really, really intense heartburn and very uncomfortable to the point where I felt like almost like I had to lay down, which is not the right thing to do for heartburn anyway, but
Right. Right.
I felt really uncomfortable. That lasted through the evening, through the night, through part of the next day. I took a little Pepsid to help calm it down. It went away and it has not come back since.
So, has that kind of symptom happened to you before where you've had such bad heartburn? I mean, are you sensitive to coffee or something?
Actually, yes. In the past, it has. I take medicine on a regular basis for heartburn. So it has happened in the past, but this was unusual in terms of the extent of it and the duration of it.
Okay. So, but you said that hasn't come back again. You're pretty good with that. How about things like craving? Do you have that?
That's been so interesting because, as I talked about in the first one, that the first time we met, I love food. I love to eat. I look forward to going out. I look forward to having dinner with friends. I've still had the feeling of, oh boy, I can't wait to eat something, but not in so much in the craving way. That's been a really big noticeable change. So I'll still look forward. I think last time I talked about having a muffin when having coffee with a friend.
Right.
I'll still think this is great. I'm going to have coffee and a muffin. I'll look forward to it. I'll order the muffin. But what I find is I eat like a third of the muffin and I'm full. And I take the rest home and I have it for the next day. That's a big difference as opposed to sitting down and saying, here it is. I'm just going to eat the whole thing.
Right.
I'm kind of glad about that
Mhm.
because I did not want to lose sort of the pleasure I get from eating and food and all the socialization with that.
Right. Have you noticed any
So it,
change in like change in your body shape? You know, people talk about their face getting thinner, or they're losing uh, tone in their arms, or things like that.
yes, actually, probably because I see myself every day. I don't notice it as much. A few people have commented to me that I do seem a little thinner. I can tell you, I weigh myself every week. And since starting this journey 14 weeks ago, I've lost 14 pounds.
Terrific. And
I'm very
do you
glad about
notice
that.
how you
So
feel, like your energy or anything?
I do. I feel a little more energetic. And, as you know, it's very reinforcing. So if you get on the scale Friday morning before doing the Ozempic, which is my routine, and I see, oh, I lost a half a pound, three quarters of a pound, it's very motivating to want to keep doing the things that may be working. I'm also
Okay.
trying to eat a little bit healthier.
Sure. Shopping the perimeter, like you said, looking
Trying.
for
I'm
less
getting to know the
carbs.
perimeters. We're getting to know each other more.
And
And seriously, what I'm doing is if I'm in the supermarket, I'm not getting two kinds of cookies. Maybe I'll get one and I'll notice I haven't even eaten them, or I've had one and that's more than enough.
really, really amazing, huh? Okay. And you saw your doctor
So
recently?
far,
And
I
what did
did. I
she have to
had my
say?
follow up with my doctor several. I did, and it was a virtual appointment. What I did is I went to have lab work done about 5 days before the appointment, and there was improvement. The biggest concern was my A1C, which measures um, how your diabetes is going. And
Mhm.
mine was on the higher side, and it now went to went down. It went down to just above normal range according to the lab that we're using right now. And when I spoke to the doctor, she said, I'm not in the range of diabetes anymore, which was
Great.
really
Wow.
good. I was just on the very edge of that diagnosis, and that's what really propelled me to think I can't do this. I need to make changes.
Did
That
you
went
can I
down. It's a
interrupt you one
tiny
sec?
bit
What
elevated, but not a lot.
how many points or half a point? How much did it come down? Do you know? Did it come down a
I'm
half a
trying to think
point?
about it. I think I went from, no, it went more than half a point, about three quarters of a point.
Great. And that's a very short period of time. So, what's your plan?
Yeah.
What's the next step?
My plan is that, and I discussed this with the doctor because, I think it's really important to know that this is a medical situation. This is not, kind of because everyone talks about Ozempic as being almost so trendy. I don't see it as
Right.
trendy for me. I see it as something I want to be healthy. And so I do things that my doctor recommends. If I have questions, I'll ask the doctor about it. And my choice is to continue with what I'm doing right now. She said it would be fine to increase it if I wanted to, but it was also fine to keep going at the dose that I'm on. And my feeling is if I'm not having side effects, I am losing weight, the cravings are better, and most importantly, my lab work is showing that hopefully my health is better. I would like to continue with what I'm doing. She said that if about a month goes by and I hit a plateau and don't lose any more weight, that I should get in touch with her office about perhaps repeating a lab and perhaps increasing the dose. But right now, I'm going to stay where I am.
Have you noticed any change in your hair, skin, or nails?
I would say no. No, I would say that's about the same right now. I don't see a big difference. One thing I can say is that I was someone that was constantly running to the bathroom. Everywhere I was, I'd be, I have to pee, I have to pee. And that's happening less. And my doctor said, and Dr. Pepper, you're an endocrinologist. Maybe you can help validate this as well. She said that maybe as my sugar level has gone down, the glucose level, the need to
I
urinate as
doubt
much
that.
as has changed.
I wouldn't
No?
expect that. No, not
Okay.
for the type of blood
Okay.
sugar issues that you had. But maybe you're drinking less.
Okay.
You're
Maybe it's
eating
just a
less.
coincidence. Yeah.
Could be.
Hmm?
Yeah, it could
Yeah,
be.
that could
How
be.
about your mood? Did it affect your mood at all? I mean, your
I
mood
think the
seems
only
pretty
effect
good.
I see is, yeah, is feeling very happy about how it's going. It's a little bit going from feeling so out of control about something to feeling like having a little bit more control. And I think that can only help somebody's mood. And I feel good. It makes me feel like we talked about the caretaker situation. This makes me feel that I'm taking care of myself better,
Right.
which of course makes me more able to care for other people as well. So my mood's been great.
How about sleep? Any change in your sleeping?
So far, I don't see a change. I sleep relatively well, so I don't see myself having a problem with sleep. I don't feel excessively tired. I wouldn't say, I feel like I have a little bit more energy. Um, so that's a good thing, but I would not say my sleep per se has been affected very much.
All right. I think what we'll want to do is catch up with you again in a couple of more weeks. Um, you said that you're not going to increase your dose, but at this rate, there's going to be further weight loss, and it'll be great to see how, your body's reacting, how you're reacting, and see how your goals may change and maybe your lifestyle as well.
Definitely.
Yeah. So you were saying that you think that there were a few little bumps. What were those bumps?
They had nothing to do with the Ozempic itself. It had to do with the system around getting the Ozempic.
Oh,
So
yeah.
one thing was I was out of town visiting my son. I went to use the Ozempic pen, and perhaps I somehow missed the information. It comes with 4 needles. You attach a different needle each time. It comes with 6 of those, but there are only 4 doses in each pen. Somehow I
Oh,
missed that fact. I was out of town, went to use the Ozempic, and the pen was empty. So
oh.
what I ended up doing was it's a little tricky to get sometimes. But I use a very well-known pharmacy. I was able to contact a pharmacy where I was. They actually had me go to their setting in a hospital because they said the hospital pharmacy might be more likely to have it. So I was able to
Mhm.
get it. But that's just a little
Oh,
tip. There's 4 doses,
right.
even though there's 6 needles. The other bump has to do with insurance. I went to get the pen refilled. I do it all virtually, and then I go pick it up. But I got an email saying it wasn't covered. I had to get another pre-authorization. I'm currently waiting for the pre-authorization. The insurance company said at the beginning of the calendar year you need to do that.
I
So I am
see.
hoping I'll have my Ozempic by this Friday, but we'll see.
Okay. Let me run an idea past you. I was reading about from another doctor that um, the big problem that happens to a lot of people is when they can't get the medicine, they can't afford it, or they decide to stop it, or something along those lines. They gain their weight back, and the reason
Hmm.
that most experts are saying, well, because you've gotten spoiled using an injection instead of the self control that you might get if you were on a Weight Watchers or some other uh, behavioral type of
Hmm.
program, that because people using the injections that they don't have that, they go right back to their old habits. So one of the suggestions by this particular physician was maybe people using injections should only use it every other week so that on the off week, they know that they have to keep an eye on their lifestyle and behavior. They can't slip back into their old bad habits. And maybe that by doing it every other week or sort of an intermittent schedule, that they can combine the good part of the injections without bringing in the bad part of the lack of lifestyle motivation. Does that sound at all practical from your point of view?
Everything about weight loss is so complicated, isn't it?
Right.
And I think my honest question is I'd love to address that in the future. Right now, I don't know. I'd like to continue with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
When I hopefully lose more weight, and it comes down to a question of do I keep doing this forever?
Right.
Um, do I stop it? Do I do it intermittently? I think I would think about it more then.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. My understanding in some of the things I read is that it affects a part of your brain that has to do with cravings and things like that. So if that's true, it makes me a little worried about what would happen if I wasn't taking it anymore. On the
Yeah.
other hand, maybe it's reinforcing enough, and every other week is a great way to go. So I'd like to think
Yeah.
about that. You raised a very interesting question that I will
Yeah.
give a lot of thought to.
Well, we're all learning together. It's relatively new approach to an old problem. So thanks again, Susie.
To use
And
an
sounds like
expression,
things are
it's
going
a lot of food for thought.
to corny, but hey, that's another pun, right? Anyway, so great speaking to you, and let's arrange our next session in a few weeks. Hey there. So that about wraps up our episode on Susie starts Ozempic in her third month now. And I hope you enjoyed it and got something out of it. And we're very proud of Susie that she's doing so well. And she's very articulate about her process and the ups and downs that inevitably occur in such a situation. And I was recently impressed with a news story that I saw about people who were using Ozempic and losing their hair. And having been an endocrinologist for 30 years, it was clear to me that this could be a hormonal issue that people can run into using these powerful medications. And also, the weight loss itself is associated with a lot of bodily changes that could impact the person in such a way. Hair, skin, and nails are very sensitive to weight loss. So I'm doing a show on that, and you can find that on my YouTube channel, Metabolism 123, and click on our show and subscribe. Any little bit helps. We're a very small channel, and we're a very well kept secret, which I'd like to fix. Thanks a lot.